Hello, it's time for Flashback, the weekly history quiz. Let's find out what happened in history. 1817, a German builds a forerunner to the bicycle. It takes 50 more years before someone adds the pedals. Right, very good. Hypatia, perhaps the leading mathematician of her era, becomes a popular speaker in Alexandria, drawing eager crowds from abroad. Well, this will clearly be ancient Alexandria. There we go, circa 400. The provincial government of Alberta, Canada, reports its first rat. Alberta takes quick action, keeping it one of the few rat-free places in the world. That's very interesting. I assume this will be the 20th century? I don't know. Yeah, 1950. Okay, after a Maryland student floats an old-fashioned idea as two politicians debating issues, the U.S. holds its first televised presidential debate. Was that Kennedy-Nixon? I think, 1960, yeah. A day after Apollo 13 lifts off, the astronaut Jack Swigert realizes he forgot to file his taxes. He later gets an extension for being out of the country. That's amazing. Very good. Okay, that's after 1960, obviously. Yeah, 1970. Okay. Rarely visited by foreign leaders, the U.S. eagerly hosts its first state dinner. The king is David Kalakaua, the king of Hawaii. All right. Do I think that's before or after 1817? I mean, probably before. I don't know. First state dinner. 1874. The U.S. went that long without holding a state dinner. That is absolutely fascinating. Wow. Okay. The U.S. is sort of odd in that its head of government and head of state are the same person, which is sort of unusual. So I guess that does create a sort of odd situation for things like state dinners. I mean, obviously not that odd, but maybe that was one of the reasons it took a while. An astronomer, Henrietta Leavitt, finds a way to measure distance between far-off stars. It will show you that there are many galaxies in a vast universe. Let's see. Before or after 1950, do I think? Probably before? No, 1912, okay. More before than I had expected. The Nok people of West Africa start to make terracotta figures and create tools with iron. I'm thinking before 400. Yep. 500 BC, almost 1,000 years before. To focus people on archery practice, Scotland imposes its first ban on the distracting, homegrown sport of golf. It doesn't work. When do I think this is? The 17th century, maybe? No, the 15th century. Okay, there we go. All right, well, got one wrong. So it goes. So let's see how the stats looked this week. I was in the most common category, at least, so in good company there. And about a quarter of people misplaced the Nok people of West Africa. That's somewhat surprising to me. Hard to imagine that coming after 400, but there you go. Almost a quarter of people misplaced the golf bit. So 17% of people, like me, misplaced the U.S.'s first state dinner. That's so interesting that it wasn't until 1874. A third of people misplaced the astronomer and the method of measuring distance between stars. A third of people misplaced the rat-free Alberta. That's so interesting. One of the few rat-free places in the world. And then most people placed these others correctly, as I would have imagined. Well, there we go. That was the flashback. Always very interesting to read, to learn about these things. And there we have it. Back next week with more of this. Bye for now.